I'm Mary J. Blige, the executive producer of the new Lifetime movies inspired by my music, Real Love and Strength of a Woman. Real Love is about a HBCU freshman, Kendra. She falls in love.
This is our song.
They go through all the emotions, like, are we in love? Is he cheating?
She doesn't want you, Kendra. I do.
Get the love story about, if I can't have you, nobody will.
I know what you did.
And it changes the trajectory of her life. Strength of a Woman is a reminder of who we are.
I'm married, I'm pregnant.
Who is this?
No, it's not what you think. Kendra!
Sometimes being strong isn't forcing something to be right. Sometimes being strong is just surrendering.
I love you.
Telling diverse stories is so important because everyone matters. There's something for everyone. That's Lifetime.
Mary J. Blige's Real Love premieres Saturday, June 10th at 8. And the story continues with Strength of a Woman, Saturday, June 17th on Lifetime.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's virtual press event for Mary J. Blige's Strength of a Woman premiering this Saturday. Joining us today are stars Ajiona Alexis, Princess Davis, Hamza Fuad, and executive producer Jordan Davis. Welcome and thank you all for being here. Our first question is from Chan, Convos with Chan.
Okay, why is it not letting me do my, it's not letting me start my video. Okay, well, my question is for the producer. How was it working with Mary J. Blige on this story and telling to capture everything from her thoughts and what she wanted to accomplish?
Well, it was fantastic and a real privilege. I mean, I'm a fan like everybody else of Mary's, so it was just a great opportunity. I knew Mary and she told me she wanted to do these with her songs, and it was just like, it was just a thrill. And so she wanted to get these, she picked these two particular songs, and she wanted to set an HBCU and wanted to talk about a woman's experience, an experience of an artist. And we got into the script and we got into picking writers, and she worked with us every step of the way between the casting and the costumes and the music. And I think that you can see in the films her spirit and her brand through the whole thing.
Thank you so much for that, because I've always wanted to know, her thought process. She's been a very pivotal force and very important to our hip hop and our culture. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next question is from 107.9 The Beat.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, my question goes to Miss Alexis. Let me just say that you did a phenomenal job. I watched the Real Love on Saturday, and I was just happy, laughing, crying, and love all at the same time. And you had to dig through a lot of emotions because you suffered a traumatic incident in Real Love, and we kind of see you overcome towards the end of the episode. But in Strength of a Woman, what are some emotions that you're going to have to tap in now that you're going to be a mature woman out of college and 15 years later?
Well, I definitely had to, first of all, thank you. And I'm so happy that you enjoyed Real Love. That movie is so dear to my heart, but I definitely took time to make that transition, knowing that it would be a 15-year gap difference. And so I focused a lot on body movement, placement of my feelings and emotions, knowing that it's not the whiny Kendra, it's more of the assured Kendra and herself. And so just being more real, like I'm not, 30, obviously, but just really kind of taking that into account of being married, wanting to have a family, and just being real to a Black woman, overcoming those circumstances and being true to what that looks like in the future. So it was a challenge, but it was actually very fun. And also being realistic of the aftermath, So I definitely went deep into detail about what would Kendra be 15 years from now.
Okay, well, we're so excited to watch it. And you and Da Vinci's chemistry, let me just say, is amazing. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Our next question is from Valerie Milano of the Hollywood Times.
Good morning. For anybody that wants to take it, does Real Love and Strength of a Woman coincide with each other?
I could go with that one. Absolutely, because it's like, you know, your experiences, especially at that age and in college at a HBCU, it shapes you so much of where you decide to go, decisions you make, how you act and react, you know, from certain situations in your life. So everything that happens in your life, I think, you know, definitely shapes who you are in the future. So they definitely go hand in hand, and you have to take into account a lot of what happened before that got us to where we are right now. Hamza or Princess, yeah, what do y'all think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's just kind of like a projection into the future. And you see Terry and Kendra's friendship and kind of how it's evolved and kind of what they're going through. And you see their love and like support really like build for each other. So I'm really excited for you guys to see that. And there's a whole bunch of more things, but it definitely connects.
Yeah, and it's growth, right? It's an
Mhm.
experience from being young to adulthood and following this young woman and this young man and their experience with love in different stages of their lives. I think they connect beautifully.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much.
Our next question is from Partis Smith from New Light Media.
Good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here. So excited to hear you guys' perspective of Real Love and Strength of the Woman. My question will go out. Which one was the better one filming, or were there a better one or a lesser better one for you guys, if you like to share, or were they both equally fun?
For me, they were both equally fun because they're just so different. And I think what drew me to the projects were that they were two different films, one younger in college, and so it had more of a uppity, vibrant feel and, you know, a little naive, whereas Strength of a Woman, you're 15 years older, and so you're going through that process of having to be more responsible, make, you know, more responsible choices, and seeing the development of Kendra in her early or later stages in her career. So to me, they were both fun, but on the first set, I love that you can tell the vibe. Like me and Princess on the first movie, we were so giggly all the time, like so, you know, crazy. But then when we got to Strength of a Woman, it was the same, but we had just more of a stern, you know, feeling with each other. And also we had Sherry, she was the director. So she definitely brought her like her centerness to the project as well, I would say.
Great, good stuff. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Our next question is from So Unique Magazine.
Hi, I hope you guys are doing well today.
You too.
So, Real Love, it made me reminisce backwards in time to when I was, attending an HBCU, living on campus full time. And I haven't watched a film that made me reminisce in a very, very long time. So when working on this project, did you guys think back or reminisce, or did it bring up old memories for you in your actual lives?
Princess, anybody want to take it?
Yeah, I think so when I got the part, I definitely studied a lot of like, the 90s and kind of like how they dance. And I listened to a lot of like Mary J. Blige's songs and actually watched her music videos and Missy Elliott's. And it reminded me of my mom because we used to like dance Mary J. Blige's songs and like Missy Elliott a lot in our kitchen. So it was definitely like connection to like my mother and kind of like being a young kid and growing up and listening to the R&Bs, and it just kind of like cemented like a really groundedness in me. So yeah.
Yeah, this was so fun for me too, because I say I'm such an old soul. So I grew up on all the 90s that, you can think of. And before I actually started filming the film, I watched a lot of like Janet Jackson and Poetic Justice, Nia Long and Love Jones and Jada Pinkett and Inkwell, Sanaa Lathan and Love and Basketball. And so when I watch Real Love, it's just so dear to my heart because those were the films that I studied when filming this. And I feel like you can see parts and pieces of all that. And we definitely needed that in our generation right now. So it was so fun to be a part of this, right, for Real Love. Yeah.
And we talked about that. And I was around in the 90s and had a good time in the 90s. And it was really fun to do set deck and look at the computers that were in the rooms and the costume, the hair and everything that was going on then. I think we had a really good time doing that. And I think that those departments had a really fun time doing that. And I think that the college situation was also fun to be part of it there. I think you guys talked about that too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Our next question is from lifetime.com. This is for Hamza. What was it like playing such a diabolical character?
Fun. It's always fun to play these types of characters because they are so far removed from who I find myself to be just as a human being. But, as an actor, as an artist, it's always a challenge to tap into those parts of ourselves. But then I always have fun with these types of characters because we get to just embellish those little bits of ourselves that we all have, right? Like I'm not one to do the types of things or to be seen in the type of way that my character Kevin was, but I definitely have experienced moments in my life to a lesser degree that can then be amplified. So I take the challenge on. The more different that a character can be from me, the more fun that I tend to have with them. So yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much. Our next question is from T. Goodwin, Purposely Bossing Up.
Hello, everyone. This question is for Adriana. I want to know, what was it like working with Da Vinci again? Basically coming from BMF, where it was so hardcore, to now Strength of a Woman, where it's more drama love story.
Honestly, we had so much fun. I'm actually happy it was him because we already had a rapport and chemistry built from before. I think for me, at least, it was kind of hard to get into the lover mode of like, okay, now we got to be kissing on each other for like 2 months. But I think overall, it works. And we both, love our art and our craft and what we do. And I feel like everyone just had fun watching us on set. And before they met us, they were like, did y'all know each other? Like, y'all just have this thing. And so, me and him, we definitely like Kobe and Shaq out there on the film. So I'm glad it was him.
You guys also set the tone. You really set the tone as an artist coming in and joining you guys on the second film. It was such a fun set to be a part of because of that chemistry and because of that connection you guys already had. It was hands down the most fun project I've ever done. And it's sure a very heavy topic, especially in both films. But you and Da Vinci did something special.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it. Thank you.
Our next question is from DJ at the Core 94 radio station.
Hi, this question is for Miss Alexis. What can the audience expect from Strength of a Woman that they didn't get from Real Love?
You can expect, I think there's so many things you can take from it, but in life, you never stop figuring out what it is, or troubles never stop coming your way. And I just think you see another phase of Kendra being older and more established, more successful. Just because, she's more successful in her life doesn't mean the problems stop. And so you see her just take on more of her strength, and you're always finding strength on your journey. It never stops. And so Kendra, I think, is just the real definition of resilience and of bouncing back. And even when she's going through stuff from college to now, she's always pursuing her dreams and goals. And you see her balance all of that. And I think that's where you can see the strength in a Black woman for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. You did a great job. I love all your work. I cried when you died in BMF. That's all.
Yeah.
Our next question is from Lifetime's social media team. This question is for Jordan. Jordan, what drew you to this project and how did you get involved?
I got involved because of Mary. And it drew me to the project because I'm always drawn to projects about women. And most of the things I do are based on women and for women. And I wanted to do these stories, and particularly this one, because she's an artist and she's trying to figure out her path and how she chooses a life for herself and incorporates her personal life into a life of pursuing her passions and her art. And I think it is hard for a lot of young women to find that compromise. And she does that in movie too, has to figure out how to find herself and find the rest of her life. I think it's often choices women make in their life. And that's why these movies in particular were really important to me.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Our next question is from William Carter.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. My question is, whoever wants to answer it. Given the fact that, Mary's music inspired the films, and, clearly it's Mary J. Blige, I want to know, were there any challenges that any of you may have overcome, to make the role your own, considering the fact that it's Mary and people are watching,
I think it's in my personal experience, it is a ton of pressure you can feel because it's connected to such an icon. We all grew up to Mary J's music. Not past tense, am currently obsessed with this woman. She's the hardest working woman in Hollywood, it feels, and has impacted so many major milestones in my life through her music and through her story. And you can go one of two ways. You can allow it to overwhelm you, or you can turn it off and just try and do justice to the opportunity. I feel like just being able to be casted in this project means that everyone from the top down believes that the artists that were chosen are right for the role. Accept that to be true and just do your job like any other job.
I think for me, the importance, and it wasn't a challenge, it was something I was just very cautious about, were the sensitive topics surrounding both of the movies, such as issues touch on sexual assault and substance abuse, your parents aging, and dealing with all of that, and knowing that I would be the voice for a lot of women that haven't had a voice in the past. I think I wanted to just make sure I was just representing them as real as possible in the light, and letting them feel like they have help, letting them feel like they're being seen and heard, and just being sensitive towards people that actually been through traumatic events like that in their life, and how they're, planning on overcoming it.
Thank you so much. Oh no, go ahead now.
I was going to say, I think for me, definitely it's a Mary J. Blige project. And, there was definitely a lot of pressure that, Hamza was kind of talking about of, this is like an icon, it's a legend. And I definitely knew a lot of people were going to watch it. And I think that really excited me because, I really like Terry, I really like the character, and I really love the relationship between Terry and Kendra. So I thought that was a really beautiful thing to portray. And I thought it was really exciting to be able to be a part of an all-Black cast. And I'm from Vancouver, so we don't really see a lot of that. So I thought it was a really exciting challenge, and I'm really grateful to be a part of this project.
Y'all getting ready with the answers. I love that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Our next question is from Lily May at The Collective.
Great afternoon, everyone. So I'm directing my question, of course, to the production team, but also cast, please feel free to answer. So in the grand scheme of, I'm going to say, a combination of the Me Too movement, the Black Lives Matters movement, Blue Lives Matters, and all of these different movements, how did those themes play a factor in producing this story? Because when we think of Real Love and Strength of a Woman, subconsciously, all of those things kind of come into the fold.
Well, it's a period piece. And so we had to put it in context of when the stories took place. So in Real Love, and Asia and I had long conversations about this at the time. The experience of our character takes place in the 90s. And so how she relates to it, how she responds to it, and how the other characters dealt with it, how Princess characters does, how the other people in her life deal with it, takes place in what was going on in that time and place in the 90s, right? And so we were trying to stay true to what was going on for a period and what the expectations of were people then, and so not of now, not of 2023. And we worked with
Katie.
Excuse me?
Katie from Take Back the Night.
Take Back the Night. To talk about, to be as true and authentic and helpful as possible for what victims of assault have been through. And so that we were doing it in terms of a creative process and a script and a narrative that is a fiction script, but that was also real to what was going on in that time frame. So that affects all of our lives, and it affects us now, and it affects me as a producer in the terms of the work I choose to do and why I choose to do it and the stories and narratives we choose to tell. But it also isn't specific in this into the time and place we are setting this.
Mm-hmm. And this one, me and Jordan, we were talking about a lot of that. Even when I spoke with Katie, she told me about her journey of how she overcame what she went through and how she was the first woman at the time to speak out nationally and publicly on being a victim of date rape. And, you know, she gave me some statistics as far as 86% of rape victims are known offenders. It's someone you know, someone that you're close to. And I was just very, you know, careful on how we portrayed that in the story we told, because, you know, even back in that time in the 90s, people were more taught to be quiet and be hush hush and not speak out about what was going on. So you have a lot of people who never even told their stories, or, you know, they couldn't defend themselves. They couldn't, you know, go through the legal cases. But also with Take Back the Night, it didn't happen at HBCUs, but I think it was important that we still incorporated that, because it showed people that, imagine if they didn't even have that, you know, and it's just letting you know that a movement is started to help women speak out on that. And they go through a lot of mental challenges, physical challenges. The aftermath is just a lot. So I think it was great that we still decided to partner with Take Back the Night and just incorporate that scene, because that scene to me is just so powerful. And I wish more women had, you know, a support system like that back then.
And give a connection to an organization that people who see the movie can connect to and feel like they can get some support from. And I do think that's a bit of what the Me Too movement has spoken up about, is that people are now saying Me Too because they are coming up with some of their experiences that they couldn't talk about before. A lot of people's buried experiences were brought back up and said Me Too.
Certainly. Well, I thank you so much for giving such an in-depth response. I know that was a loaded question, but we definitely serve purpose over popularity over here. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Luis Padron of Cinema Daily US.
Hi guys. I just want to get the cast about forgiveness. You yourself, though, would you give a loved one a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance, or one strike, he or she is out?
It depends on the situation. Definitely depends on the situation. But if we're speaking as far as forgiveness, it's like that's always easier said than done. Like, okay, forgive. But you know, forgiving is just a long process. But in reality, if you don't forgive someone, it's like you're almost still holding on that weight and negativity. And that's something I've learned, no matter how long it takes for me to forgive someone. But when you forgive someone, don't forget, but you move past it and you're able to flourish more in your life. I feel like you just let it go. You just, you know, cut that connection, whatever it is, and it allows you to actually be better. But it's hard to forgive people. You know, it's like, it's easier said than done, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's something to be said too. There's an expression out there where it's like holding on to negative feelings or hate or whatever it is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And I think that working towards forgiveness allows us to just do that, you know, be able to let go and move on from things, but again, depending on the situation, right?
It allows you to not be a hostage of your past, you know?
Yeah. I think for me, it allows me to kind of love myself more, because I'm kind of like letting go of a lot of weight, like they mentioned. And I think it's really freeing and definitely liberating, depending on the situation, to forgive someone and forgive yourself even for, you know, whatever it is.
Thank you very much. And I think the most important thing is forgiving yourself. Thank you.
Our next question is from Mr. Dark Eye Podcast.
Hello, everyone. First off, congratulations on living a dream with working with the Queen, Mary J. Blige. But my question is for Jordan and the rest of the cast. What is the biggest message that you want people to walk away with when it comes down to these movies?
I would like people to feel optimistic. I think we're living through crazy times, and I would like them to walk away from these movies and feel optimistic about themselves and about their futures. I think Kendra has a lot of challenges. I think we put a lot on her in these movies, and I think she finds her way out of places. And I think she goes to better places and makes good choices at many difficult times. And I would like people to believe that there are better tomorrows and to see themselves to better places.
Awesome. Anybody else want to speak on that?
I think what would be a really great thing for people to take away is the idea that real love kind of like stems from yourself. I think like fully loving yourself as authentically as possible is a really important thing. And it's kind of like trusting your intuition and trusting like your journey in life. And I think once you kind of have that foundation, like life becomes like more enjoyable. There's a lot like it's really positive to stem from yourself and not try to seek external validation sometimes, even if it's hard. But that was my biggest takeaway, like being a part of this film. I really like saw myself and I was like, oh, like the mirror, this is real love. And if I can connect to myself, that's the most important thing.
Amazing.
I hope that people take to not be defeated by their journey. Don't be defeated, and know that whatever it is you're going through, this too shall pass. And even though, this song, I was speaking with Mary, she was like, when she hears real love, it brings up a painful time in her life. But certain people like us, we hear it, we think of love and happiness. And so sometimes what is painful for you in your life will be an inspiration and motivation to other people. So just learning how to take your story and find your strength and just keep pushing forward, because you never know who's watching and who you're being a trailblazer for.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you all for your time and your answers. I really do appreciate your contributions with this amazing work. And I hope everybody tunes in on Saturday.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Natasha, Women for the Culture.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me today. And I just had to let y'all know that the movie was amazing on Saturday. But my question is for Princess. So Princess, we see Kendra go through a traumatic event and she basically tries to push you away, but you continue to be there, be by her side. So how important is it for women to know when your true friends are going through something instead of jumping into petty mode and just leaving them all together?
Yeah, I think definitely having grace and trying to understand your friend and trying to always be there for them even if they're going through hard times is really important. I think it's really hard sometimes because if your friend's acting up, you're kind of like, girl, like what are you doing? Like cheer up. Like why are you going through this? And in the beginning of the film, like when Kendra kind of goes through her traumatic events, Terry's kind of like, are you okay? Like kind of what's going on? And then when Kendra really tries to push her away, Terry's like, I'm there for you. Like, I'm here. Like, if you want to talk, this is, I'm here for you. And I think like friendship like that is really important because, like I've had some hard times and a lot of people have. And when you have people that are there for you, you always know that you're going to be supported no matter what you're going through. And I think that's, a rare, really beautiful thing and a really important aspect to having a really true friend. So I'm really grateful for Kendra and Terry's relationship.